Dang, y'all were right about Sloan. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer. Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Jack and Lilly Sullivan, they are still missing, even though we have family members coming out here and giving elaborate stories. Even the most recent being that at some point Malaya made a statement, or somebody in the area whenever the kids went missing made a statement that they thought the kids were being tucked into bed in New Brunswick somewhere. Yeah, now we're naming locations apparently, but still not coughing up proof of life. Anyway, a lot of you guys sent me over to a channel that goes by Sloan Bella. I guess that's her psychic name. I don't know what her real name is. Obviously, it doesn't even matter. But the video that she posted 2 weeks ago, I don't think that she recorded it in June because she makes a statement about we're almost in June. But it was posted in June. It was posted, like I said, about 2 weeks ago. Everything that she says in this video is pretty freaking accurate. Okay, now I recorded myself listening to about half of it, so I'm going to play that here in just a second, but I am really wondering, and I want you guys to keep this in mind for while you're listening to this, when it comes to the timeline of Sloan Bella's video coming out, and this Darren guy that's apparently this cousin of Malaya's, okay, which came first, the psychic or the cousin? Take a listen and tell me at the end.
Now, I'm going to do this one a little bit backwards because I don't have a chart for these two people that are missing and presumed harmed or in danger because they are little kids, age 6 and age 4. And I'm talking about Lily and Jack Sullivan. So I'm going to work a little bit backwards. Now, first, let me just start off by saying that their biological mother reported them missing on May 2nd, 2025. And she reported them missing from their house located on Gaylock Road in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. Apparently, it's in Pictou County. I should know this. I'm Canadian. I have no clue. Never been to Nova Scotia. I can tell you immediately I'm marking June 9th as a time frame for when information comes out and the preceding 3 weeks after that. So that almost puts us into Cancer. It does put us into Cancer season. June 9th for 3 weeks. That puts us to the end of June. This is when information will be released about what happened. I'm
recording this on June 24th. And we've been listening to Malaya's grandmother's second cousin named Darren. That's apparently his real name. He's came out and gave us that. He's been out here giving information since like a week prior. So it's been, I'd say like 7 to 9 days now that we've been hearing information from this guy. That could be wrong, but it's definitely been over a week. It's definitely been over a week that Daniel and him have been out here saying a lot of stuff. So she's on point right there. Okay.
Immediately heard that date. The next thing that I heard as I was focusing on these two young kids, little Jack 4 and Lily 6, babies, little babies.
Yeah.
What was interesting to me is that the mother phoned in the missing persons report at 10 a.m. Now, anybody that's getting...
Okay, yeah, that's like the roundabout report. The more specific time that we've been getting is 9:40. But given everything else that's been going on here, I don't really know how accurate that is.
Getting up and conscious at 10 a.m. is a party or the night before. This is just where my mind goes. They're either out at the clubs or they're up late partying. And I actually get a loud, noisy house at like 2, 3, and 4 in the morning. So these kids...
Okay, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure the information about the possible party was out by the time this video posted. Yeah, this was posted about 2 weeks ago. So we definitely already knew that there was a possible party on Thursday. Daniel, the stepdad, has come out and said no. Now, the neighbor that said that, I said, in my opinion, a neighbor that's, pretty used to the way that the area around their home looks would definitely notice if there were more cars at somebody's house whenever they pass by than normal. I know that whenever I drive by in my neighborhood, I can definitely tell if somebody's having a little party or a birthday or a get together or something because there's multiple cars there that are not normally there. Now, again, they've said no. And again, that came out before she said this. So, just making points.
And I know everybody is focused on the stepdad. And normally my energy would go to that, but that's actually...
I mean, I was because of how it seemed like the mom did take the first opportunity that she could to get out of there. But then we started hearing more information and more information and more information. And even this cousin that, again, is the biological mom's family, even though he's out here saying stuff like whatever she thought she had to run from, if she would have gone to the right people, we could have protected her from this. He's also still claiming that Daniel is like a good man. Like Daniel isn't whatever, she might be trying to make him sound like in these text messages that have been coming out. So it's really just back and forth and very strange.
Actually not what I'm getting. So I'm putting the stepdad over here.
Okay.
I think that he's probably a jerk to live with, an asshole, something along these lines, but I don't get him doing anything to plot against the kids.
Okay, that's interesting because we've heard a couple of different times that the kids sort of didn't listen to their mom whatsoever. That Daniel was the one who disciplined them, that they went to him whenever they needed something, that Malaya really didn't pay much attention to them at all, and they didn't listen to her. She paid most of her attention to Meadow. So I can assume that if, in one scenario, if they got together and moved in together and then he had to start basically doing everything for his stepkids and the mom just stopped giving a crap whatsoever about doing anything because now there's another adult in the house and now, they can just take over, maybe that would turn him into that eventually, maybe. I don't know, because again, we've got the family member of her still coming out and defending Daniel, even going so far as to say that her family took things out of the trailer they were living in to possibly plant in order to frame him, even though they're very aware that Malaya is the one who planned to get the kids and herself out of there and the plan just went wrong. Yeah, there's a lot that's been going on. Let's continue.
Not what I see. I go to the mother. I go to the mother, to the mother, to the mother on the right-hand side. The dad is stupid. He's not paying attention. What I mean by that is he doesn't see things exactly clearly that are right under his nose, or he chooses to ignore them and kind of just throw them out of his head. He goes along with things and he enjoys things, but he's not necessarily the one that orchestrated this. And then immediately my mind heard the words, sit on daddy's lap. I heard sit on daddy's lap. Now I'm going right now and thinking we're focusing on Lily because she's a little girl, and I go to the mother and I go to her childhood trauma. This is an exact connection like this. So sit on daddy's lap is somebody connected to the mother's side of the family and an older male person, older than the stepfather, not the stepfather and not the biological father. Neither one of those two men does this have anything to do.
Bro. Okay. I'll keep the comment to myself that I have in my head right now because somebody left a comment and for some reason I filed it. Let this continue before I say anything else.
With, I mean, other than they are in proximity of the children.
Oh,
well, the bio dad isn't, but the stepdad is. But this is not what happened. Now, the mother moved the children.
Okay, so she said the person that this is about is in the vicinity of the children. Okay, this older gentleman.
Away from the bio dad because she thought he was the worst thing she could deal with. And I got news for her. That's not the way it is. The sit on daddy's lap is the worst person you're dealing with. And then
I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills. Holy crap. Okay. The guy that's been coming out and talking is on Malaya's side of the family. He's an older gentleman and he lives close enough to where he has spent time with Daniel. He knows Daniel's family. He lives in the area. And he's coming out and basically stating, like, no one knew that this was something that Malaya orchestrated, and it apparently went wrong until he came out and started talking. Woo!
And immediately,
we are 3 minutes and 47 seconds in. Holy shit.
My mind goes to money being exchanged, drugs being done. My nose is stuffy. The minute I start recording this, I start sneezing and my nose is stuffy. So I'm going to drugs that you snort up the nose. I'm going to people talking, cigarettes and beer cans. Kind of an unkept, unharmonious type of a party that happened a few days, if not the day or hours prior to those children going missing.
Yeah, remember. Now, again, like I said already, the information about the possible Thursday night party was already out before this video came out. So let's keep that in mind. But I do find it interesting because I've almost wondered if that really was a true story. And maybe, just maybe, if the story about Malaya trying to orchestrate like an exit or whatever, for whatever reason, because at this point, that's literally up in the air. That's literally up in the air. Maybe in order to make sure that she could get out without waking him up, maybe they did party the night before and she made sure that he partook a lot harder than maybe normal, or partook maybe as hard as she has maybe allegedly, in my opinion, in a theory only because I'm trying to figure out where the frick these kids are. Maybe, just maybe, there was a party and she knew how much it was going to take because she'd already seen it before in order for her to be able to move about in the morning without him ever even noticing she left the bed. That's very possible. You know what? I'm not going to tell my personal story about how I know that's very possible. We'll save that for another day.
Now, what's interesting is I don't feel them on the other side. That doesn't mean that they haven't passed, but I don't feel it, or I can't connect to it.
And in the theory that's, coming out when it comes to this family member speaking, they're alive and with people that are related to Malaya somewhere. So that's interesting too.
Always hesitant to say that about children anyway, because they're children. Yeah. But what I do feel is a man with a beard in a mechanic suit, or one of those overalls you wear to put over your clothes so you don't get grease on your clothes, or it could even be a painter suit, cover you up. So like they're orange, they're blue, they're black, they're green, whatever your company is. A company man who does this. He's older though. He's got a beard. The beard is older, and he kind of looks slightly like a biker mindset to me, biker guy, like the
okay. I'm just gonna pop up the thumbnail photo that Joseph Faking Audio Morris uses. The fact that he's gotten so much more popular since literally Faking Audio in the Idaho 4 case, the woman whose DV situation he stole the audio from came out and even said, homeboy literally took my story and turned it into this, and it's nothing to do with Idaho 4. And he also created a fake video, or pushed a fake video, when it came to the Brian Laundrie, Gabby Petito situation. And that dude is over there flourishing. I just don't comprehend how the world actually works any freaking way. Look at the photo of the family member of Malaya's that's been out here talking. And then re-go through your mind about what she just said. Oh, crapazola. This is insane. Y'all, thank you for sending me over here. I needed this mind kick today. Holy shit.
The beard reminds me of bikers I see around town here.
Now, he doesn't have a beard, but that doesn't say that he hadn't had a beard, or that this photo, just because the photo that we see doesn't have a beard doesn't mean that he doesn't have a beard in other times or whatever. I'm just saying everything else is like, damn.
And somebody wanted the little girl to sit on daddy's knee. First of all, never do that to your kids. Secondly, I see money exchange. I feel, honestly, these kids, there's two things I feel, and they're colliding with each other energetically. I feel that these kids were taken to protect them. Okay, so somebody said they needed protection. They were taken and actually walked into a trap where they were sold.
I'm sorry? Okay, let's just take away the where they were sold situation, pluck it out and take it over there. What? This was like a few days before the dude came out and started talking. Wow. Okay. 5 minutes and 40 seconds in.
So they were given for something. Sold doesn't always have to mean cash. It can be like, you take them and I'll give you this, or you do this and I'll do this. Now, I feel like the mother knows exactly what happened to them, although not really. So she knows where she sent them and she knows what she did with them. And
she knows where she sent them. Okay, so yeah, she is literally stating everything that the cousin ended up coming out a few days after and stating. So now I'm really questioning, is the cousin even legit, or is he just taking the story that he heard her say and coming out and like twisting it into whatever is needed? Man, because yeah, it can go both ways. It can go both ways, okay?
And she knows where they went, but she doesn't know what happened to them. But she was doing it to protect them, but they didn't go there, so they weren't protected. This is the conversation I see going on around her. She immediately left the environment and went back, and apparently she's Native Canadian. She's native to the land and went back wherever that.
But see, that's okay. That part right there, I thought that was the case too, but it turned out that wasn't the case. She ended up leaving the very next day, and the story is that the stepdad's cousin was supposed to just take Meadow because the Child Protective Services of the area did not want the child staying there. They didn't say that Malaya couldn't stay there, but they didn't want the baby staying there. So the cousin offered to take the baby, said that Malaya was welcome to come along, and that was supposed to be what was supposed to happen. And then all of a sudden, Malaya's mother showed up. And what's been said is that within 5 minutes of being alone with her, all of a sudden, Malaya was like, no, the baby's not going with you. I'm leaving. I'm taking the baby. I'm going with my mom. And then she was gone. But according to everything that we've been hearing from Daniel and from the cousin, so the original story is that they'd been together for about 3-ish years. The cousin is coming out and saying, no, they've been together for more like 4.5 because they were actually living either with Malaya and her mother or somewhere around the mother for like 1.5 years. And then because Malaya needed to get away from her mother, according to Daniel's story that's hopping around on certain channels, they moved because of that, because Malaya needed to get away from her mom, not to hide from the ex, because again, at that point in time, the ex didn't live with his mother, that lives, within a certain amount of, whatever away from where Malaya and Daniel ended up living. See, the blame and the reasoning and just all of it's just so everywhere. But anyway, so whenever we first heard that she did leave with her mom, we thought it was a reservation situation. That's not the case. She didn't end up hightailing it to the reservation until apparently, according to this cousin, the cousin allowed some information out that he knew would get back to her. She flipped, took the baby, took off. That ended her, agreement with CPS to be under 24-hour supervision with the baby at her mother's house. So then CPS apparently took the baby, and she's actually at the reservation, which is where her father's side of the family apparently is how it's turning out. So close, because that's where she apparently is now, but that was just sort of the assumption at the beginning, because a lot of things were really unclear, especially whenever we also heard that they had tried to get the children registered to be able to live on the reservation or be at the reservation or just registered in general 3 separate times, and it was denied. That's another thing that was going around, which was interesting.
When I'm looking around, I really feel they're out of that county and gone to another spot. I don't feel they're looking in the right spot.
That's literally exactly what that dude said, was that they weren't even in that area anymore. They were on a reservation, but not the local one. And then we heard that she had asked her, made sure she had the birth certificates. And so a lot of people think that there was passports and that the kids had crossed, the country line. Again, did that guy get the story from her and he's been out here trying to make it sound like it's the truth? Apparently, the biological father's mother, Belinda, that's been out here speaking and has done interviews on national, news up there in Canada, has validated that this person really is Malaya's family. Daniel has even validated that he knows who this person is. They've met and, been together in person before. But this is just really, really specific for everything that he's stating. And again, this is a few days before he started talking. So I'm really, really wondering now if he got his story from Sloan Bella, because what the hell?
sometimes people can look in the spot, find the people, and they're there years later, like they find them in the spot that they were looking. But the police are very interesting in this area because they're playing chess. I literally see them playing chess with the family. This family has its reputation in the area, and it's not necessarily a good reputation, definitely has its reputation. And the family seems to be divided amongst itself. And I'm talking about the stepfather's family. So the family that lives on the property, they seem to be divided. The mother is no help, the grandmother of the mother of the stepfather. So that's the grandmother, step grandmother. She's of no help. And they're.
So according to the story, Daniel's mother, which would be the step grandmother of at least the two missing children, Jack and Lily, but the biological grandmother of Meadow, it's kind of flip-flopped the way that it's been coming out. It's either she, of course, lives there and would recognize and want to ask questions to a strange vehicle across the street from her house. And that's why she went outside. And then she saw Malaya on her phone and everything happened after that. Or she went outside, saw Malaya on her phone and just missed the car by like 30 seconds. We've literally heard Darren pretty much say it both ways. So I'd wish we'd get some clarification.
Are not really truthful with the shit that goes on. It's slightly backwards in a way, but they are like working class people in that community. I know they have a daughter together and that mother left. She just left with the minor child. Now that's interesting because the stepfather hasn't mentioned that. He mentions nothing about where the mother went. They are joined and there is a reason for that joining. Okay. I don't feel the stepfather did it though. I don't feel that. That's not what I get. I do feel that the children were sexualized, that there is an older male grandfather figure, mother's side.
Look, okay. Darren is the grandmother's second cousin. Malaya's mother's second cousin. Malaya's grandmother's second cousin. And he is out here. And he is doing all of this and saying all of these things and trying to make this seem as if Malaya did all this, which she very well could have. This could be to a T what's been going on here. But the person that she's describing sounds a lot like the person that we've been hearing from a lot lately, and it's creeping me out.
There's acquaintance, somebody she calls daddy, somebody who stepped in for her as a daddy. So that would be her stepfather and her person older, and it's something that happened to her and it happened to the kids, but they were given, like, it's really interesting. The mother had issues with her daughter. There was trying to control her rebellious daughter.
Well, we heard that she had issues disciplining and getting both of the kids to listen to her, not just Lily.
Trying to control her. Lily's one who doesn't listen. She's not going to listen. You tell her to do this, I'm not doing it. And of course, why would she? For everything that the little boy felt and sensed, Lily expressed outwardly. So one is outward and one is inward. It's really interesting. And both of
that's literally, honestly, like she's describing my oldest too. Because Ariel and Slade are 23 months apart. She's always been the loud one, the bright one, the one who's just going to say whatever she wants. And Slade is reserved. He doesn't want to be seen. He doesn't want to be heard. He wants to be in his own little world and keep everything in. Crazy how much when they're born that way, that's how it normally is. That's wild.
Them were highly creative children. I say were, I don't know if they're past or not because I cannot feel them on the other side. I do know that there's information coming in. Somebody's getting a phone call right around the 9th of June, as in a week. It's almost a week. We're almost in June. So somebody is getting...
Hold on. Okay, almost in June. When did she record this? Okay, this is June 6th, 2025 that it was posted. She said we're almost in June. So did she record this at the end of May? Oh man, that would make this even like creepier.
Getting some kind of information about these children, and I'm not sure what it is exactly. Somebody will be interrogated, which tells me that the children have come to harm on some level. I feel it's interesting. I feel the girl was a problem right away, and there was some kind of medication given to the daughter, and she's like, I don't know that it was the right medication. Like maybe they gave her sleeping pills to sleep, like a Casey Anthony thing, through the party, through the loudness. But the kids have been shipped off, and that was a deliberate. See, there's two separate things going on here. This is where it's very confusing. This is where the confusion comes in.
Yes, it is.
The kids were removed from the home on purpose because they were in danger. So somebody thought they were doing a good thing by removing the kids and helping them stay in a safe environment.
Again, that is so insane because that's the story. That is literally the story.
But the people that they gave the kids to do not have the same mindset about keeping the kids safe. There's an ulterior motive behind why they wanted to take the kids.
So according to the story being told by this male family member of Malaya, he is stating that it's like girls Malaya's age. And he's basically stating that girls that young make stupid mistakes like this because they just, plan to do stuff without thinking it through. So that's basically stating that these native people, because that's his claim, that they are native people that are related and or friends with Malaya in, related some way, shape, or form, but also friends, same age and girls, that they're the ones who had the ulterior motive to do something else with these children? Because that would be, like, if this is the story, because I've been questioning this entire time, okay? If the kids really are alive and this was a plan gone wrong and we are this far in, okay, how come with all of the days that have passed since this stuff has been being spoken by family members and talked about by Daniel, how come we still don't have proof of life? It's June 24th. We've been hearing for a week now that they are alive, they are somewhere, this is what happened. Prove it. Still no proof of life. So when it comes to what could be, to me, she's just coming up with a theory based off of whatever she's feeling from whatever. But everything that she said up until this point is, wow.
And to me, it's about profit. I'll just word it that way, profit. Now, that could mean if you take the kids, you get money from the government, and then we don't get money from the government. Something.
That wouldn't make any sense because they're reported missing. Nobody would be getting any money from the government with missing children's names being the recipient of said money. That's not how that would work.
Like this. So the mother went at it from a protective mode, and she tells stories, and she doesn't want to get caught for something. I don't know what it is, though. I don't think it's the murder of her children, but she does.
She doesn't want to be caught for lying. In the most basic sense, based off of the stories coming out by these people talking, in the most basic sense, she tried to get out of this relationship by leaving somehow. And she had somebody come and pick up Jack and Lilly. And in my opinion, maybe her entire point was to instantly turn around, go inside, get the baby, and leave with them. Possibly, like in the same vehicle even, very possible. But then Daniel's mother came out, the vehicle had to leave, and then Malaya was stuck. And instead of just telling the police as soon as they got there so that she had humans there to protect her, if she's actually running from Daniel, she could have literally said, okay, now that you guys are here, the kids are not missing. I'm trying to flee for my life. This is the situation. They're with my friend here. I'll put them on the phone right now. They'll turn around and even show you, like, we can stop this now. That didn't happen. And again, we're 7 weeks in and we don't have any proof of life of these kids. So I'm probably going to go ahead and in this video right here, when it comes to like my reaction to this, I'm going to listen to the rest of this, but I will say this was hella accurate. And it's giving me a whole lot of questions because of how accurate it is when it comes to this man's story. Did he get it from her and come out repeating what he heard? And because people are trying to fill gaps, it's just connecting. And because she's already known for getting stuff right, people are now coming back and listening to this now that this family member is out talking and they're being like, holy crap, she had it right. That could be it. This guy could have not even known about her whatsoever. He might still not even know that she exists. And everything that he's saying is legit. But he could also just be trying to get some sort of attention. And even though, you know, it's not really for nothing at all, people are kind of jacked up in the head that way, okay? Look at Dot in the Idaho 4 case. Her coming in and impersonating somebody was not her first rodeo in true crime, being a troll, basically, okay? This happens in every case. Happens in every case. So I don't know. I just know that she's hella specific and accurate and to a T on a lot of very, very specific things. And it's making me question, which came first? The psychic or the cousin? Yeah, you see? Which came first, the psychic or the cousin? Because everything that she said is really verbatim what's coming out of this cousin's mouth. But did he get the information from her and then try to come out here and act like he knows stuff when he really doesn't? Or is she for real legit and somehow she knew all of this information that nobody could have even guessed in their wildest dreams could have been the actual case here? So I'll say again, I appreciate those of you who left me comments telling me to go over there and take a listen to this, because I'll admit I was blown away. I'm still blown away by how accurate this was, but I still have lots of questions, especially since, like I said, we have all of this information coming out from family and still no proof of life. It's a big issue for me. But let me know what you guys are thinking about this stuff down in the comments. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that that notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives. See y'all.